Alright, so we left off here pretty much in this section in the previous video. If you guys notice quickly, I've added one more animation to the our circular button file. Why did I do that? So that's going to be a reason for doing this. So the idea behind for this video is to start working on integrating our Rive FLR file into our plugin and make sure that the plugin is working properly. So we're going to be using it as a button. So we would need a static button first, and when the user clicks on it, it has to perform the operation, or it has to perform the animation. I found the easiest way to do that is to create a simple static animation where nothing plays. Just like this, if you can see, just create something like this. Nothing happens to the button, while there's another button or another animation name which will actually perform the animation. So this is going to be two different things that you will add, and you will export your FLR file as a binary. So this is going to be the basic again, which I've already done. So for the starting of this video, we're going to be now looking into writing very basic code, starting to understand how our plugin will work and what we need to do for it to start working across any type of application. So that's what we're going to be doing. Jump directly into our Android Studio. I have pretty much a very empty file. If you can quickly notice here, I did discuss about what is a lib do, what is an example do, and why it is all required. Now there, you need to understand that there's going to be two pubspec.yaml, there's going to be two lib folders, and it's going to be getting a little bit confusing as you go forward. So in order to make it very simple, just keep this one single thing in your mind. If you are going to make something, or if you're going to make a code that is going to be working across all different type of application, that is going to be the plugin. For example, our circular button should work across any type of application anybody uses. It should work properly. So that should come under exactly our live folder is outside the example folder, or the one that is global to the our application name. And I'm going to be using a simple flutter awesome rive button.dart file, and I'm going to be writing my code here. That is one thing. Even before you do that, remember we downloaded the .flr file which we need to add to our assets. There's one more thing that is different with respect to plugins, is that assets are going to be written in terms of a package level. So if you can quickly go here, I've already added it something called as a flare files, and I've added my circular button.flr inside the flare files folder, and I've put this inside my lib folder. Looks perfectly fine. Now the challenge is to make sure that our pubspec.yaml is also pointing to that specific circular button FLR file properly. So what I've done is I've taken it from packages, flutter awesome rive button, flare file, circular button.flr. Now how do you do that? Just go to your project here, click on packages. As you can see, there's going to be three different packages that are going to be generated. What we are going to use is going to be the our plugin package. Look in for our flare files folder. If you add it in your project, it will definitely be here, and you're going to get the path from there. Just right click it and get the copy path, take it from there, put it into our pubspec.yaml. We are done. All right, let's go back, switch to a project here. Pubspec.yaml is very important. Make sure you're not making or switching it, or making indentation errors in exactly this position. I did make indentation error, and it was just crazy, making my mind go crazy. Do a packages get, and we are done with adding our assets. The second thing we need to add is our flare flutter plugin, most important one, which we will be definitely requiring in this entire video. So make sure you add a flare flutter and also do a packages get. So our basic work is done. Time to go and start adding a little bit of code, and also to see how it is going to be working. Our circular button is going to be the target for this video. We'll start with a very simple class name. So how do you do a simple class name? We need to have a stateful widget throughout a plugin. I mean, if you're going to be using a stateless widget, it should be a very simple plugin. There is going to be nothing major happening with respect to widgets itself. If that is the case, you can go for a stateless widget, but most often if you're trying to do something in Flutter as a plugin, you will definitely need a stateful widget. So I'm going to be creating a simple stateful widget here, and I'll start working on that. Just do a stateful. If you type stf, it will automatically auto-complete it for you. I'm going to be naming it as awesome. I'm going to name it as awesome flare buttons. Cool, we are done. Automatically fills up. What do we need? We need the first, as usual, our data sync. Oh, sorry, and fill up all these things. And we'll also, okay, pretty much it. That's it. Should be fine. We also need our widget stuff and widgets and shit. Material. Should be fine. Okay, cool. We're done. So we've pretty much done the basic one here. We're going to start working on our buttons and stuff. So this is going to be the idea. So the awesome Flutter buttons is going to be for now pointing to the circular button only. So our aim is to start adding properties and stuff that we want for a circular button to work, and we are pretty much done. So what we're going to do is just for now to begin with, directly go to our build method and try and return the flare actor itself. Now the flare actor is going to be the one that's going to perform the animation for us. Now we need to import the flare actor, so make sure that you do it here. And the idea for flare actor, it's going to take a file name which we're going to give, and if you remember, the file name is going to be from our puckspec.yaml. So this is going to be the file name. So just do copy paste it there, and yeah, pretty much on our way. And what are the different attributes that the flare actor has? So you can see there's a lot of attributes that it has. It has a is paused, alignment, snap to end, controller color, should clip. So all these attributes are actually present as part of the flare actor. But what are we going to give to the user who's going to use this plugin? So what we need to do is to do a quick thing. I mean, what do you think is going to be the requirement? Do a faster feasibility analysis, and I've come up with certain things. You can do whatever you want to do, but I've come up with basic stuff here. We're going to start with adding a much simpler alignment. So alignment is always going to be an important one. For now, we'll go with alignment.center, and it's going to be fit, and it's going to be box fit dot contain, and pretty much it. So that's going to be it. And the most important one is the animation, and this animation here, it's going to be the one that is going to be our static animation, because we don't want the animation to play immediately. We want it to be a static animation first, and then when the user clicks the button, we need to play it. Cool. So this is going to be the basic one. If you return it now, it's going to just be a static circular button on the screen. Nothing is going to happen. We need to now quickly go and add our attributes as part of our awesome Flutter button. So awesome flare buttons. What do you usually see? So if you go to main, now it's time to start writing our code into main. Go to example lib and main.dart, and as you can see, this is a very static or simple thing that we do usually in a lot of our applications. We start writing our code like this, and we start doing things like this. And if you go something to container, you can see that there's going to be a lot of this ones present across all widgets. So what does this do is that it's going to give the widget that we're going to create all the required attributes, and that attributes can be in turn used inside our plugin. So how do you do that? You can just create a simple const. This is how you create a constructor. Just do the same awesome flare buttons, and I'm going to start writing. My shift key is not working. Okay, cool. So you're going to start writing our constructor here. So our first constructor that I'm going to be thinking about is to use an attribute for our alignment. So alignment is going to be one. So just create a final attribute. Let's call it as alignment itself, and call done. Now we need to initialize. I mean, you need to initialize it for our purpose. The next one is going to be a key. I'll tell you why it is required. For now, just write it like this, and this is that alignment. Next one that we need to do is a fit. So we need to also create a fit, and I'll do that as well. And we'll create this dot fit. Awesome. So we've done two things. Time to start adding a lot of things here. Time to start adding our different attributes that we require here. I've written down some important attributes. One is paused. Paused is going to be false, because we don't want it to be paused, because it will keep on staying paused. In case the user wants to start off with a true one, I'm still going to give the opportunity for them to do that. So it's going to be Boolean value. Let me call it as pause, and we'll instantiate that as well. Cool. Now we're done. And the next attribute that I'm going to use is going to be our fit is done, alignment is done. We're going to be using the important callback attribute. So this callback attribute is going to be very important for us to start writing a lot of different things. I'll tell you guys how it is going to be. We can give the user the callback attribute for multiple purposes. As soon as the animation gets completed, the user can do whatever he wants to do. He can just write a method on top of that, and that's going to be useful. So how do you do a callback attribute? As you can see, the callback attribute is going to be taking a flare completed callback class. So you're going to use that again. That's how you find things faster. And done as well. Okay, let me quickly go and write down all the things that is going to be required for me. Now the next thing I need is awesome. So I've completed writing all the things that I require: alignment, fit, pause, callback, and on press. These are the opportunities that I'm going to give the user to play around with. And now it's time to look into how you can bring these attributes into this position here, so that it's obviously the user's choice. It's very simple. Just go do. You can access all the attributes through a class called as widget, and directly go and call alignment. Do the same for everything. Cool. I've done 4 things now. I've done the alignment, fit, pause, and callback. Now it's time to look into what our on press is going to do. Now the on press game is a little bit different. The on press means that there is no actual callback for on press here. So what you're going to do is wrap the entire thing inside a gesture detector. Do a child, and child is going to be this. And the on press of this on tap is obviously going to be what we need. So we will actually require our on press, whatever the user is giving, that callback to be fired. So we will do a widget dot on press fire, done. But what are we going to do for the animation to play? Now that part is going to be a little bit trickier, because we're going to be using another important class inside Flare called the Flare controls. So Flare controls is a very controls, which is easier way to control what we can do with our Flare actor. Just give it a name of controls and instantiate to a Flare controls. Now what we need to do is go ahead and give this controls as controls. We have given it a attribute now. Now we can now control our Flare actor through the controller. And how you can do that is directly call controls. Now on tap, user is clicking on tap. We are going to be firing whatever the user wants to do on press after that. But what should we have to do first of all? We need to start playing our animation. So that part is going to be what we're going to do now. We're going to be calling the controls dot play. It's asking for a name. If you guys are following me till this, you would have guessed what the name should be for this. It should be our circular button animation name. So circular button animation name is going to be playing here, and obviously we're going to be calling the on press as soon as that's completed. Now there's 2 things that you can do. You can wrap this entire thing in a set state if you want. It's not going to make a lot of difference. If you feel it's going to be firing the entire thing, you can put it inside a set state, and that should be it. So we have completed technically the entire plugin code. Now time to check if it is actually running in our main.dart file. So that's going to be the work that you're going to do now. Directly go to your main.dart file, remove unnecessary code, just go and start. We've called the container here, but we should be calling the awesome Flare buttons. So it should be a simple call, and you can see that as soon as I open it up, if I type, for example, say fit, it's giving me the option of fit. Now let's say alignment, it's giving me an option of alignment. Now let's say, what is the next one? Callback is also given. On press. See, now I'm going to do is create an on press here, and I'm going to print something on the on press so that I know what is happening. On press is fired, something like this. So this is where usually our buttons will change course. We'll call another widget. All this is going to happen. Okay, store it. I mean, save it up. Time for truth. Let's see how we run it. Let's see what happens. It's going to be already have my emulator running and everything of that sort. Open my emulator. It's throwing a lot of errors because I've been continuously typing it up. Let me run it again. Okay, couple of things here. It says the Boolean expression cannot be null. That means that we are giving all these values directly, and we are not giving it any kind of a base, or we're not giving it any kind of a default value. So that's a very big mistake that I did here. So what we need to do is, instead of directly giving it a pass, which should actually mean null in Dart syntax, we can directly say false here. That's going to be the default value that it's going to take when the awesome flower button class gets instantiated. Similarly, for fit also, I'm not going to take any chance. I'm going to give it a box fit of contain, and alignment is going to be center. These are three things I'm going to do. The other two is fine, I guess. So let's save it up and run it again once again for our purpose. And voila, I think the application is running. Cool. We have now got the button. Time for checking what happens. Application is started. That's how it worked. If you guys could saw it, it worked perfectly fine. And let me do it once again for you guys. All right, application is loaded. Let me go and fire it up. Voila, awesome. Our plugin is working perfectly fine now. I'm really happy that it is working. This is going to be the very crude one. I've done it just to explain what is the code that is going to be doing here and there. In the next video, it's going to be obviously a part 2 continuation. I don't want to dump it in one single video. It's difficult for me also, and for people watching also, to understand what is happening. I'll paste the code again for in my website, link in the description. Check it out. In the next video, we're going to be making sure that our classes are a little bit more modularized, not some dead code hanging here and there. I'll try to make it as clean as possible, and we're going to be continuing that in the next video. So that's going to be it for the this video. Let me meet in the next video, and following successive videos will be launching this plugin into the Dart dev, and we'll see how it performs. So that's going to be pretty much the agenda for the next couple of videos. Let me meet you guys there. Until then, Bharat, peace out. Have a super awesome